Hey there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking here at a Toyota Hiace. This one here, a KZH100, which is the two-wheel drive or the rear-wheel drive version of this Hiace that seems to be really popular in the USA. This one's a 1997 with 130,000 kilometers. That's the original auction inspection sheet, and I'll check over that in just a second. Overall condition of this one is good. Turbo diesel 3-liter, the same one that's in the four-wheel drive version. Condition of it inside out is good, with a couple of little things. I gotta mention one thing, and for that I have to sit inside the car and just kind of sit here for a second, and then you're gonna hear it. It's not that. It was that. Did you hear it? It goes boing boing, or like boing boing. There it is again. It continues doing that forever. It's either really funny or really annoying, depending on the type of person you are and how long you've been listening to it. It only took me a few times to go from funny to annoying for that, so it certainly is something that needs to be uninstalled for most people, unless you're extremely tolerant. Here's the sheet here. I'll just quickly go ahead and translate this. It's a 1997 Hiace Living Saloon EX 3000cc engine. One thing to mention, the two-wheel drive ones, you're going to get better fuel economy. They drive better. They're lower to the ground. And they're a lot cheaper than the four-wheel drive one. Four-wheel drive ones are obviously more popular because four-wheel drive minivans are really cool. If you don't need the four-wheel drive or you're expecting to do more highway miles on it, this is kind of the one to get. You can save several $1,000s on importing one and get yourself a better conditioned van overall. Okay, so it's a grade 3.5 interior C. Sunroof, it's a triple moonroof. Very cool. Power steering, power windows, navi, and airbag. It's an original two-tone white, has the white and silver. Paint condition of this is very good all the way around. No corrosion on it. Interior is fairly clean. There is some cigarette smell in the interior. I'll talk about that more when we get into the car. Sales points here, original navi. It's a NDC whatever, CD and DVD player. Sunroof. Toll collection box. Aftermarket wheels are 15-inch. There's actually a bit of a problem with these. There's a mismatch of tires. There's 2008 tires, both rears are 2008s. One front is on the other side is a 2021, and this one's a 1997, so that's the spare tire most likely. And so time to get some new tires because they don't match all the way around. Okay, fog lamps. Yay for fog lamps. These ones are not integrated in the headlights anymore. The earlier models had headlights and fog lamps in one encasing or enclosure. These ones, they split them out to the bumper. Okay, and what else do we have? Purchase from user, that's basically like a dealer trade-in. Owner's manual, spare key, and then history from 2020, 2018, 2016. Usually they write them in the other order. 2014, 2012, 2010, 2008. Okay, so from 2008 until now, every time it's been inspected. And here in Japan, in order to register your car for the road, it needs a safety inspection every 2 years. And so that's what that inspection is, and they'll have to fix anything that the shop comes up with. Just pin that down a little bit. Okay, the report here says interior dirty. It's actually not that dirty. Seat cigarette burn, yeah, there are 4 of them. 4 of them. Most of them are pretty small. I'll show you in a sec. Also, the door liner they didn't mention, but there are 2 cigarette burns. They're both really small. I'll show you those in a second. Very small scratches, small dents, and right rear fender has been replaced here. Okay, front bumper, medium scratches. Large scratch on the roof, but it is on the roof, and you can't really see up there unless you're a giant. And they are really not that deep. They're shallow but long, a few of them. Okay, probably branches. Sort of like those ones there. Something that dangles down and they drove underneath it. Really no problem in my mind. This side has some minor scratches. I mean, it says A2, but it's really not that big. Paint on both sides is really good. Rear bumper has some damage on the back corner. It says paint cracked here in AU2. I'll show you that when we get around to it. But for now, let's do a once around so you can see the vehicle from all different angles. Okay, this one here is the post facelift. So you get the front face that looks a little bit different. Dozo. Sumimasen. Don't want to record people without their permission. Okay. So yeah, the front end looks a little bit more modern than most of the ones that are in the USA. That just changed in late 1996, so there have only been a few months of this model. Here you can see some of the triple moonroofs. You do get one here, one big one here, and then two here, one above each one of the rear seats. And then this one here has the full 8 seats in it. Whereas some of them are 7-seaters, some of them are 8-seaters. This 8-seater version is the best if you're looking to sleep inside it, because you can recline all the rear seats into a flat-ish sleeping area. And you get a ton of room in these. Now, a lot of people who have experience with the Lexus, like the LS400 that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, that car really made a lot of waves because the build quality in it was so high, and it was just above and beyond what was on the market at the time. And the Hiace really has that same kind of build quality. When you're in and around one of these, or you drive one, you'll notice it's really well made, and it shows. Things like the way that the doors close, the way that the seat belts feel, the way that the buttons feel, panel gaps. You know, there's that famous Lexus commercial where they put a marble on the panel gaps on a car. So, same thing kind of in the Hiace. The Hiace is like the van version of the Land Cruiser, meant to last 25 years instead of your standard 15. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the damages. First off, front bumper, scuff and scuff. Front face has a number of rock chips on it. I'm just going to slightly touch them. They've been touched up with touch-up paint. You won't be able to necessarily see all of these in the video. The paint is like not completely level, so it reflects differently. You know, if you touch up a rock chip with touch-up paint, it kind of has that domed like surface, and you'll be able to see it. Especially when the car is cleaner. Right now, as you can see, it's just come in. It's dirty. Okay, we also got a scuff here on the front bumper. Now, the auction sheet called this A2. Now, A2 is usually more of a scratch than a scuff, but on these bumpers, they are quite visible because of the way the bumper is. Got some scratches and some chips at the edge of this, and some chips at the edge of this. Pretty standard fare. It is 25 years old. No rust on the sill down here or anywhere on the underside, really. Got a scratch here. No rust coming down from this window or inside the tracking. Those are both common places. And the decal here is in really good condition. Doesn't have that peeling look that you often get on the decals after such a long time. Toyota Mark X. That's cool. Okay, scuff here and paint cracks. So they said A2 and paint cracks in U2. U2, there's one right here. This area has been dented in. And one right here. Okay, the rest of the bumper is fairly scratched. It's pretty common for these bumpers to take scratches because these are often used by people to carry things. We don't have pickup trucks as much in Japan as you do in other parts of the world, like in the USA. And so people, you know, if your friend has a van, hey, help me move that furniture, and then you pull it out and you scratch the bottom. Okay, it has a mirror here. This one is super helpful in parking here in Japan. The idea is while you're driving, you look through the rear view mirror, then you look through this mirror, and then you get a straight down view of what you're backing into, making it really easy to notify yourself before you crash into something. Kind of used the wrong word there. Scratch mark there. More scratches on this bumper, and then an aftermarket tip has been put onto the stock exhaust there. Going down this side, we're looking really good. You can probably see the quality of the paint. It is very nice. You usually don't get this nice of paint after 25 years though. This is kind of the exception. Okay, some chips there. I'll show you the underside a bit. Usually you're going to get rust on these frame members first. These ones are really clean. So underside is spick and span on this model. Okay, you open the door and it goes it's really weird. And you can smell the cigarettes from here a little bit. I give it a 5 out of 10 in terms of cigarette smell. There it is. I'm going to take that key out before I start damaging things. Okay, cigarette burns. Your 2 on the door card are right here and here. Okay. This part here has not worn down. Oftentimes this paint wears away as people slide off. Seat cigarette burns. One here, that's the most obvious. I said 5, didn't I? I think there's 4. There are 3 of them in this area here. Might have happened at the same time. Okay, the rest of the seats, passenger seat and the rest of the driver's seat, are both fine. Okay, steering wheel. Very little amount of wear on there, that's good. Has an extra hook put on, there are 2 of those within the vehicle. Carpets are in good shape. Oh, and another cigarette burn here. Pretty large one. Okay, you usually get the mileage and electronic display there, but the key is not in because it's driving me nuts. This is a toll collection box for Japanese highways. You put your highway card in there and it accumulates your tolls. There's an aftermarket screen there. The AC works. Power curtains. Shifting is good. Retractable mirrors work and power windows work as well. There's some dirtiness that needs to be cleaned out. There's the other hook. And there's a clock glued on over there. Okay. Here's your first sunroof. This one here is tilt only. The rear one is tilt only. And the middle one is full retracting. Okay, all of those have been checked and they all work. On these Hiaces, those sunroofs tend to break. And what happens is people never use them. And then they get difficult for the motor to manage. And then they just stop working. I think if you use your sunroofs frequently and you keep your railings clean, I think that they're going to last a good long time. Okay, this one here has the headrest from a different version in it. Now, oftentimes, this one in the middle is taken out because it kind of blocks your rearward visibility. Why can't I speak? Don't know. So what you could do is you could take this one out and put it here, and then you can toss that one out or just keep it if you wanted it. But this is like the old, like the LH119 or LH106, not 119, 106 headrest. Has that velour look to it. Okay, now all these seats here can rotate to face the other direction and have double seat belts. So you got a seat belt here when it's in the front facing position, or a lap only belt when it's facing in the rearward position. Nice clean carpets there. Nice clean carpets there. Huge sunroof. Okay, AC vents up there, and you get your own controls over here. This is also a slide forward and back seat, as is the one in the back here. Then you get 2 sunroofs sort of up there. Some sort of a dirtiness on the headliner there. And the general headliner has some cigarette dirtiness if you look at it. It's not that apparent compared to how bad it can be, but it is there. Okay, easy way to get in. These ones don't rotate all together anymore. The ones that's a 7-seater with 2 here, all of them rotate together. So when you pull it forward like this, they all kind of rotate a bit to give you an easier access to get in. This one doesn't do that, but this is certainly easy enough to get in and out of. And then this one here rotates independently of these 2 over here. It does this, which I find is a little bit annoying. It locks itself into place, and then you have to push it back. I'm not sure if that annoys me more than it does anyone else, but it does annoy me a little bit. It's missing the little handle on the end of that. And that handle usually looks like this. Okay, into the trunk. The side liners in the trunk on the Hiace are easy to rip. This one has ripped, so I'll show you that. Okay. Right here. It's made out of soft touch material, which is a weird material to put in your trunk. The rest of the trunk, the carpet's clean. The back of that seat is in good condition. It also is prone to ripping sometimes. Okay, and we got a tiny little rip here. Okay, from back here you can see the sunroofs. You can see the curtains. electronic curtains. This one has just curtains on the back windows. There's nothing that goes between here. Sometimes some of them have that, and then some of them have it as an aftermarket kit. Okay, Super Custom G. You can cruise around saying, I'm the G with the Super Custom G Living Saloon. Called Living Saloon because nobody in the States can afford a house anymore. So now this is what your living saloon is instead of a house. Okay, kind of ending on a sad note there, but good van. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.